This is the U.S. Embassy in Tehran.
3 a.m. on August 8, 1963. It's 3:03 a.m. on August 8th.
And obviously, this is not an act of rage. It's an act of deliberation. When you do something like this over 3 days, it's not an act of rage, be it steroid rage or roid rage, whatever it's called, or any other rage.
But this guy's a professional wrestler. The little boy and the mom are dead.
June 25th, 2007, Corpus Christi, Texas. Inside the American Bank Center. It's late afternoon, around 4 p.m. local time. Backstage, people are already dressed to wrestle. Their gear is laid out, production sheets are printed, and the show is hours away from going live. And then the call comes in. Police in Fayetteville, Georgia have entered the home of Chris Benoit. They would find 3 bodies inside, an adult male, an adult female, and a child. The residence was now being treated as a major crime scene, but no details beyond that. All the WWE knew was everyone in that house was dead. Within that hour, everything changes. From 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., the live event scheduled for that night is canceled. Producers start tearing up the script for Monday Night Raw. Entire segments get scrapped. Matches that had finishes planned just hours earlier are now irrelevant. They didn't have time to investigate or wait for facts. They had to go live in just a few hours, and they had to decide what this show was going to be. Around 5 p.m. the decision is made. This won't be a normal episode of Monday Night Raw. It will be a tribute, a full show dedicated to the life and career of Chris Benoit. And at this point, nobody in that building really knows the truth. Not the wrestlers, the commentators, or even the people editing the video packages. All they know is that a respected veteran, a former world champion, is gone. Between 5 and 7:30 p.m., phones are going off constantly. Wrestlers are calling each other. Some are hearing about it for the first time through text messages. Others are being pulled aside backstage and told quietly, one-on-one. There's confusion in every direction, and people are asking the same questions. What happened? Was it an accident? Was it carbon monoxide? Was it something medical? But no one has answers. 7:30 p.m., just before Raw goes live, production is rushing to build tribute packages. Footage is being pulled from years of
There we go, there we go, there we go. My mic is working. I thought my mic was not working. I think.
Matches, WrestleMania
Yeah, my mic
wins,
is
and
not
highlights of
working.
Benoit at his peak. The editors are working
Gonna have to do that all again as well. Give me a sec. Yeah, my mic is working. So why is it not coming up on Twitch? Yeah, my mic is working. So why is it not coming up
This
on
is not an
Twitch?
act of rage. It's an act of deliberation. When you do something like this over 3 days, it's not an act of rage, be it steroid rage or roid rage, whatever it's called, or any other rage.
But this guy's a
Yeah, it
professional
works
wrestler.
perfectly.
The little boy and the mom are dead.
June 25th,
This guy's a
2007,
Yeah, it
professional
works
Corpus
wrestler.
perfectly.
Christi,
The little
Texas,
boy and the
inside the
mom are
American
dead.
Bank Center. It's late afternoon, around 4
Okay.
p.m. local time. Backstage, people are already dressed to wrestle. Their gear is laid out, production sheets are printed, and the show is hours away from going live. And then the call comes in.
Actually, give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Or nobody, actually, because there's nobody in it. Mm.
1963. Inside a royal
Police
All right, let's get back to it.
entered the home of Crispin. They would find 3 bodies inside: an adult male, an adult female, and a child. The residence was now being treated as a major crime scene, but no details beyond that. All WWE knew was everyone in that house was dead. Within that hour, everything changes. From 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., the live event scheduled for that night is canceled. Producers start tearing up the script for Monday Night Raw. Entire segments get scrapped. Matches that had finishes planned just hours earlier are now irrelevant. They didn't have time to investigate or wait for facts. They had to go live in just a few hours, and they had to decide what this show was.
I can't lie, this shit was crazy because they just ran into a live broadcast without knowing what happened, you know, how he died, what actually happened in the house, you know. And it's probably what anyone would do. Probably like just pay tribute to a wrestler who'd been there for like 7-8 years. At that point, veteran, probably a reliable person, and pay tribute to them. Probably that's probably what would happen. What anyone would do.
The decision is made. This won't be a normal episode of Monday Night Raw. It will be a tribute, a full show dedicated to the life and career of Chris Benoit. And at this point, nobody in that building really knows the truth. Not the wrestlers, the commentators, or even the people editing the video packages. All they know is that a respected veteran, a former world champion, is gone. Between 5 and 7:30 p.m., phones are going off constantly. Wrestlers are calling each other. Some are hearing about it for the first time.
That's crazy. Imagine a guy you've wrestled for the last, what, 10 years, and you just hear him dead just before you start a live broadcast of Monday Night Raw. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's shocking.
Others are being pulled aside backstage and told quietly, one-on-one. There's confusion in every direction, and people are asking the same questions. What happened? Was it an accident? Was it carbon monoxide? Was it something...
Probably they'd think it's carbon monoxide, you know. They probably think it's carbon monoxide, because how else would either people have gone and killed them, murdered them, or it's probably carbon monoxide or something like that, because they're all three of them dead. You know?
7:30 p.m., just before Raw goes live, production is rushing to build tribute packages. Footage is being pulled from years of matches, WrestleMania moments, title wins, and highlights of Benoit at his peak. The editors are working against the clock. All they have is raw footage and a deadline. 8 p.m., the show opens. No pyro and no music to hype the crowd. Just Vince McMahon standing alone in the ring. The same Vince McMahon character who, just a week earlier, was part of a storyline where he died in a limousine explosion. The storyline would...
The week previous, the guy died in a limousine accident. It blew up the week before, right? And he's meant to be in storyline dead. And the next week, he's back on Monday Night Raw. Imagine, you turn on your box set in 2007. You say, wait, he died last week. How is he alive again? And then obviously, you probably do know, you know, they probably do know what happened, probably in the news, definitely in the news, that Chris Benoit died, and the children are probably like, how the hell is he alive? I mean, he just died last week. And then he's here again. But yeah, that's probably crazy, you know. And they didn't know what happened, so yeah, that's crazy.
Instantly. He looks directly into the camera and speaks as himself, not the character, just Vince McMahon. And he tells the audience that Chris Benoit is dead, and that his family is dead, and that tonight's show will be
I mean, what else can they do? I mean, they have to go live, they have to address it, and they probably think it's like a regular death. Do you know what I mean?
Completely different tone than anything Raw usually is. No matches, just memories and video packages. Wrestlers speak directly to the camera.
Oh yeah, bare people in
Triple H
tears.
talks about Benoit as a competitor, and William Regal struggles to get through his words. There's real emotion in his interviews because everyone speaking believes they're honoring.
Especially Dean. I mean, he debuted with him, no?
Meanwhile, outside the arena, while this tribute is airing live across the country, investigators are still inside that house in Georgia, and the details are starting to come together, slowly and away from the cameras. By the end of Raw around 10 p.m., the show closes the same way it began, focused entirely on Chris Benoit's legacy. But within hours, everything changes. And everything that aired on this show immediately becomes something else entirely. Let's jump back to June 22nd, 2007. Fayetteville, Georgia, late afternoon. 3:30 p.m., Chris Benoit picks up his phone and calls Chavo Guerrero. He leaves a voicemail, and he says his wife, Nancy, and his son, Daniel, are sick, and they may have food poisoning. He says he won't be able to make it to the WWE live event in Texas that night. 3:42 p.m., Chavo listens to the message, and something about it doesn't sit right. 3:44 p.m., Chavo would call Chris and Chris would answer. They would talk for a few minutes. He says the same story, but his voice is off, low energy.
He's probably thinking about it. He's probably thinking like, I'm about to do it. I'm about to do the madness. I'm about to top off my wife and my kid. I think his wife went first. I think that's what happened. His wife went first, Nancy went first, and then his kid Daniel went second. And then he went last. He killed himself. Obviously, he went last. But yeah, I think that's how it happened. And he probably, while talking to Chavo, just like, I'm going to do it. And probably like, kind of nervous to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Slower than usual, and Chavo hears it. Before hanging up, Benoit says something that sticks. I love you. He emphasizes it. Chavo doesn't hear that from him often. 3:56 p.m., 12 minutes later, Chavo calls him again but gets no answer. He leaves another voicemail, asking Benoit to call him back, but that call never comes. Around that same time, Benoit is also speaking to another coworker. He tells a slightly different version of the same story. Nancy isn't just sick, she's vomiting blood. Between 4 and 6 p.m., WWE is informed that Benoit won't make the show. Internally, this isn't treated as a major issue. It happens all the time. Flights get changed, emergencies come up, plans shift. They rebook him for a flight the next morning so he could still make the pay-per-view in Houston. While all these calls are happening, while that story is being told over the phone, investigators later determined that Nancy Benoit is already dead. She would later be discovered restrained, strangled, wrapped in a blanket, with a Bible placed nearby. But no one knows any of that. To everybody else, Chris Benoit is a wrestler at home dealing with a sick family. He's still answering calls and he's still making travel arrangements.
Is he?
Explaining why he won't be at the show. Everything looks normal. From the evening into that night, communication slows down.
He definitely did it. I'm not even trying to violate, but I used to sometimes think that you used to listen to these rumors that, oh, this person killed him. No, these people set him up. You know, Kevin Sullivan. You hear about Kevin Sullivan, the former wife of Nancy, who he killed. Right, his wife's former husband. So why they killed her former husband? Allegedly, people are saying that he killed. Some people, a small amount of people, are saying that, you know, he set them up and killed them all. Do you know what I mean? But now you think about it, like calling in, speaking, saying, oh, she's sick and I need to help her. You know,
yet. Because from WWE's perspective, they already know what's going on, and he'll be back tomorrow. Every call that day and every explanation, every detail about sickness, hospitals, and travel, all of that is happening after the first death inside that house.
Yeah.
Next day, June 23rd, 2007, from around 9 a.m. to noon, WWE is expecting some kind of confirmation. A flight update, a call, something, but nothing comes in. They assume he's still dealing with his sick family. Later that morning around 11 a.m., Chris Benoit contacts WWE Talent Relations. He says his son is vomiting and they're at the hospital. He won't make the scheduled travel yet. From noon to 3 p.m. inside WWE, adjustments continue. Travel plans remain flexible. They're still expecting him to show up for the pay-per-view the next day. Nothing about it feels like a disappearance.
Oh yeah, he was meant to show up. He was meant to show up to, I don't even know what, I think it was Vengeance Night of Champions. He was meant to show up there, but he obviously didn't because he was busy ending the life of his family members. I shouldn't be laughing, but yeah, he's busy just killing his family members. You know what I mean?
During the same window inside Chris's house is when Chris would take the life of his son in the bedroom. Reports would later show that he had Xanax in his system. It would come out he would be suffocated, and again, a Bible is placed near his body. But on the outside, nobody knows any of that. Chris is still communicating.
But it's so interesting how his brain deteriorated that badly. Like, apparently he had the brain of an 80-year-old. 80-year-old. He probably was seeing things. Things were telling him, go, grab Daniel, put him in a crossface, and end him right there. People were saying they put him in a crossface, which is crazy. He didn't. He probably just... how do you think he killed him? Just... I don't know. But yeah, that's great. Brain of an 80-year-old. Wrestling, so you know, wrestling and American football, flipping hell, man. They have, especially American football, finished. They get CTE, their brains become like withered. Like, holy hell.
Explaining, and still part of the schedule. Around 3 to 5 p.m., the calls slow down again with fewer updates. At 6 p.m., the WWE...
When did he killed him? Did they kill...
Fans in attendance
They all died different days.
No announcement beyond standard absence.
I feel like they died different days.
Handled like any other last-minute change. From 10 p.m. to midnight, the day ends with no confirmed travel, no flights boarded, and no arrival scheduled. By the end of this day, Saturday, both Nancy and Daniel would be dead. June 24th, 2007, 3:51 a.m., phones start to light up. While most of the roster is asleep, a small group of people receive a message from Chris Benoit. Not a conversation or an update, just an address. 3:53 a.m. another message comes through. Same address, sent to multiple people. 3:54 a.m. a third message, this time sent from Nancy's phone. Same address again, exact wording. 3:55 a.m. a fourth message, again from Nancy's phone. Again, just
He
the
pre-fired the
address.
messages. So they'd send. So it looks like they're just fine. He did probably when he was ending himself. Probably. 3:55 a.m. That's morning, early morning. So bro was like, this was
3:58
premeditated.
one more message, different this time. It said the dogs are enclosed in the pool area and the garage side door is open, but that was all. These don't seem like normal texts. They read like instructions, like someone making sure something is found. Chavo Guerrero would wake up and see the messages, but he wouldn't panic. He would still think the family's sick. He thinks to himself that he'll ask him about it when he picks him up at the airport and he goes back to sleep. 8 a.m., Houston, Texas. Flights are starting to land. WWE talent is arriving for the pay-per-view. Chris Benoit is supposed to be one of them, but he's not there. Around 10 a.m., Benoit contacts WWE again. He still says Daniel is sick, and they're at the hospital, and he'll take a later flight.
Is this true? Daniel's... They're alive. I thought they were dead by now. I thought he was the only
By
one
the
left.
time that call is made, both Nancy and Daniel are already dead, and those texts
Oh, they
have
are.
already been sent.
They are dead. So they just don't live. So he's just saying some bullshit just to...
Everything being said now is covering something that already happened. Around 1 to 3 p.m., WWE continues preparing for Vengeance Night of Champions 2007. They still expect Benoit might show up late. That's not unusual in wrestling. Plans stay flexible. Around 3 to 5 p.m., it becomes clear he's not making it, and the decision is made. He's off the show, and Johnny Nitro will take his place against CM Punk. That evening, the pay-per-view goes on. The show happens, the matches happen, and titles change hands. From the outside, it looks like a normal WWE event. Behind the scenes, there's still no real concern. Not yet. Nothing Sunday would trigger a
At this point, is he dead? I actually just want to know. Let me just check this out. Because... Alright. So let's look at this together, right? 24th of June. Vengeance 2000 and Night of Champions 2007, right? 24th. So he was dead by now, I think. I think he died early in the morning. I think he just But they said he called and said, I don't even know, gang.
That doesn't happen until the next day, when the silence stretches too long, and someone finally decides to check the house. June 25th, 2007.
Yeah, he's dead
Around
now.
11 a.m.
He's
backstage
definitely
at the
dead.
American Bank Center, people are arriving for WWE Raw. Gear bags come through the doors, production is setting up like any other Monday. But one thing hasn't changed. No one has heard from Chris Benoit, not since the previous day. 12:30 p.m., the text messages from early Sunday morning finally get shown to WWE officials. Chavo Guerrero and others would bring them forward. Now, for the first time, people higher up are seeing them. And that's when the tone would shift immediately. At 12:45 p.m., WWE would contact the Fayetteville County Sheriff's Office. They would explain the situation and ask they do a welfare check at the Benoit home.
I just spoke to one of the other officers there. My name is Dennis Fagan. I'm a retired detective in New York City. I run the security for World Wrestling, and one of our wrestlers that lives down there is missing. And he told me just to say we need a welfare check done.
Okay, what's the address?
130 Green Meadow Lane. The zip code is 30215.
All right, Dennis, what's your last name?
Fagan, Fagan.
And what's his name?
Chris Benoit. It's spelled Benoit.
Okay, and he's a wrestler?
Yes, what happened, he's a very religious gentleman, and yesterday he was supposed to show up at a pay-per-view and never got on the plane, never showed up. They tried to reach his wife, Nancy. She doesn't answer. They tried to call her.
So let's think what happened. Let's actually see their dates of death, right? So he died on the 24th, they say on Wiki. She died on the 26th. That's 2 days earlier when he was messaging them saying that she was feeling ill and she was coughing up blood, okay? And where's his son? Where's Daniel? Benoit. How do you spell this guy's name? Benoit. Benoit. Daniel Benoit. Okay, let's just look at this. So, his wife died first. She died on the 22nd. He was LARPing that she was coughing up blood. Second, his son died, Daniel. He killed his son, suffocated him. Third, on the day of Night of Champions, not Night of Champions, Vengeance Night of Champions, on the day of the pay-per-view, he dies. But he pre-fires like 6 or 7, no pun intended, texts to WWE to just try and get their back off them. Which is interesting, isn't it? It is. And yeah. Okay.
It's out of character for him. So at 3 o'clock this morning, there was a message left for one of the other wrestlers, and basically it says, the dogs are in the backyard, the back door is open, goodbye. And that was it.
Dog in the yard?
Yes, and the back door is open. He didn't say anything else, and that is it. The message was left at 3 o'clock this morning for another wrestler.
That call is the first real escalation. Up until now, everything has just been assumption. 1:30 to 3:30 p.m., time slows down. Backstage, people are waiting. Some know about the text and some don't. Information is spreading, but not evenly. And there's no official statement yet, just quiet conversations and rumors. 4 p.m., police arrive at the Benoit residence in Fayetteville, Georgia. They enter the house, and what they find...
Oh yeah, he killed himself with weights. He killed himself with weights. I'm not even trying to violate, but this guy killed himself with weights. I'm pretty sure he broke his neck with the weights. Like he somehow broke his neck with the weights.
And Chris Benoit, all dead. It is immediately classified as a major crime scene. 4:15 p.m., the authorities would contact the WWE and they would relay what they found. 3 bodies inside the home, active investigation underway. Back in Corpus Christi, the message spreads fast, quietly at first, then all at once. From 4:15 to 4:45 p.m., you have a locker room full of wrestlers.
That's crazy, man. Imagine one of your boys is just dead. Died. The whole family dead. Son, wife, him.
And nobody has answers yet.
Especially Chavo. Imagine Chavo's like, imagine Chavo, the guy who he messaged to let his dogs out, is probably feeling at this time guilty. He's like, oh, I should have checked up on them. You know, maybe somebody broke in and topped their heads off like it was nothing. Do you know what I mean? That's really unfortunate, isn't it?
Almost back to back. Cancel the live event planned for that night and change Raw completely. And the decision is made with very limited information. All they know is they're dead. They don't know yet what happened, when it happened, or how it happened. So the assumption backstage is still tragedy and not crime. From 5 p.m. onward, production begins rebuilding Raw from scratch. Video teams pull Benoit footage, wrestlers are asked to share memories, segments are created on the fly. 10 p.m. Raw ends and the tribute broadcast wraps. Inside the arena, people are still processing what they just did. Some wrestlers are drained, and some are still confused.
Yeah, probably a lot of them are sad and crying.
Pieces of information that don't match the tone of the show. But nothing official has changed yet. Publicly, this is still a tragedy being mourned. From 11 p.m. to midnight, details begin moving outside of law enforcement. Local reports start surfacing out of Georgia, and they all point to something suspicious. Backstage, phones start buzzing again, and now the questions are different. What exactly did police find? Why is it being called a crime scene? And why hasn't anyone said what happened? Early morning, June 26th, from midnight to 3 a.m., more information begins to leak. Enough that people inside the WWE start hearing the same words repeated: homicide, and multiple of them.
Bro killed.
Internally, the mood
Bro did
shifts
it.
hard. The tribute show that just aired, the interviews, the praise, the celebration started to feel wrong. Not because of what they said,
Because of
they
what he
did.
did.
From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., major media outlets begin to confirm the direction of the investigation. By now, it's clear this isn't an accident or something natural. The reports point toward a double murder, followed by a suicide. Investigators piece together the timeline inside the house. Nancy was killed first, Daniel later, and Chris Benoit would finally take his own life. The events didn't happen all at once.
Weights.
They happened across multiple days. More details would come out, like Nancy was restrained, Daniel was sedated, and Benoit would take his own life in a...
Nancy was restrained. How did he kill her? I don't know how he killed her, but Daniel was sedated. Okay, that's probably the easiest way for a kid to get out.
home gym using a cable from a weight machine. Around 10 a.m. to noon, at this point, WWE knows. And now they're dealing with something else entirely. They aired a full tribute show less than 12 hours earlier. They immediately begin to pull everything. Tribute shows would get taken down, website content removed, merchandise pulled, an entire full stop. The story explodes across national media, not just sports.
That's crazy, man. That is absolutely crazy.
Coverage, but mainstream news,
You know what I mean?
cable networks, front page headlines. The focus was no longer
The wrestler
on
and his
wrestling.
son.
It was on violence, mental health, steroids, and concussions. The entire industry is suddenly...
And obviously they're going to start blaming it on steroids. What would you expect these lot to do, eh? First thing they do is run to steroids. First thing they do is steroids. What else? Fake.
June 26th, at an ECW broadcast that evening, less than 24 hours after the tribute show, Vince McMahon would appear again. He would make it very clear that Chris Benoit's name will never be mentioned again. June 26th, and
Imagine going from tonight, we pay tribute to Chris Benoit, to Chris Benoit's name will never, ever be uttered in this company again. Imagine. And he's meant to be dead, by the way. He's meant to be dead. He's meant to be dead. The guy died in storyline, died last week in a car accident, and now he's on Raw and ECW saying on network television saying, "We will never mention this guy's name again."
7th, wrestlers are now processing two things at once: the death of someone they worked with, and the reality of what he did. That would confuse anybody. Some were angry, some were in disbelief, and some were questioning everything they thought they knew. From June 27th onward, the next conversation moves beyond the mainstream news would focus on steroid use in wrestling, head
trauma, you can.
and long-term damage to performers. Reports begin highlighting the condition of Benoit's brain, damage consistent with repeated concussions, compared to patterns they've seen in former football players.
Football players, dangerous. American football players are dangerous.
Chris Benoit was remembered as a technician, a respected veteran, and a former world champion. But after June 26th, his name becomes tied to one event. Not his career, but just
Not his career that day.
The WWE was
All that,
quickly to
them
take
few
control
days.
of talent. The wellness policy expanded, drug testing increased, and monitoring became stricter. These policies already existed, but now they were being enforced differently, with more attention. Over time, the position in the company was consistent. Chris would get no Hall of Fame induction.
He's never getting a Hall of Fame induction. Think this guy would ever get a Hall of Fame induction? Are you insane? He's killed his wife and his kid. No, he's not getting a Hall of Fame induction. No. There's no way he's getting a Hall of Fame induction. There's no way.
You would almost never see footage of him unless historically necessary. On June 25th, 2007, for 2 hours, millions of people sat and watched a tribute. A tribute all built around the idea that they were saying goodbye to one of the best to ever do it. And at that exact same time, the truth was already sitting inside a house in Georgia. In less than 24 hours after that, everything would flip. This is one of those stories that never really fades, because it forces you to look at two versions of the same person at the exact same time. The version the world saw and the one that no one did. There's no clean way to separate that. It just sits there, unfinished.
This goes into his.
And every time that night gets brought up, you're not just remembering what happened, you're remembering the moment everyone realized they didn't actually know the full story at all.
That's crazy, man. I swear that's crazy. Killing your family. And he's gone insane, that's why. He's literally gone insane. That's why. So that was crazy, right? That was absolutely just crazy, innit? What else should we react to? I don't even know. I don't even know. There's nothing else to react to, if I'm being honest. Yeah, there's nothing really. Dun, 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 Mix Whitey. Thank you for talking in the chat. Wow. The hunt for the first dark web king. That could be a good video to watch, you know. Probably gonna end here though, innit? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Give me a second, actually. Give me a second. Alright, I'm back. I'm back. Okay. Okay. So, I was looking for a video and I don't know what to watch, you know. Maybe a short little video. The world's deadliest child killing. That sounds good. That sounds good.
This is the most dangerous child in the world. She's
Thank you,
probably 12 or 13 years
Milks
old.
YT, for saying keep going.
At first
Thank you
glance,
very much.
she
You're
looks like
very
any
kind.
other girl her age,
You're very kind.
but her
If you're still
future
here.
is anything but ordinary. One day, she might succeed her father, one of the most ruthless dictators of our time. In 2022, she appeared out of nowhere, but since then, she's been seen at Kim Jong-un's side again and again, at military parades, missile tests, and official state visits. Why is North Korea suddenly putting her on display? Who is she really? We went through hours of footage, dozens of reports, and Secret Service intel to piece together everything we could find out about her. This is the story of Kim Jue, the girl who may one day rule North Korea.
Probably is, probably is.
There's very little reliable information about Kim Jong-un's daughter. Our research is mostly based on reports from South Korea's National Intelligence Service, NIS, on an extensive visual analysis of thousands of hours of North Korean state TV, and on one curious interview. It's September 2013. Former basketball star Dennis Rodman has just returned from a trip to North Korea.
North Korea.
He has visited Kim Jong-un and his family and talks about his experience in an interview with The Guardian. Since early 2013, the two have maintained an unlikely friendship. Rodman repeatedly talks about this in public.
We laugh, we sing karaoke, we do a lot of cool things together. And we ride horses, we hang out, we go skiing.
Rodman speaks quite fondly of the North Korean leader.
He's my friend for life. I don't care what you guys think about him.
On his most recent trip, the two apparently spent some time by the sea, vacation with the Kim family, Rodman says. According to him, they mainly talked about their shared love for basketball. Rodman claimed they discussed plans for a friendly match between North Korea and the US. They even talked about co-founding their very own basketball team. In the very same interview, Rodman also dropped some unexpected insight into the dictator's private life. Kim Jong-un is supposed to have a daughter. She's still a baby, and Rodman claims he even held her in his arms. He also reveals her alleged name, Kim Jue.
Kim Jue, 2013.
But it will take
right now
years
she's
before
13.
the world will actually get to see her face. In 2017, South Korea's intelligence service NIS reveals previously unknown details about the Kim family. According to the NIS report, Kim Jong-un has 3 children, a son born in 2010,
Does he?
a daughter born in 2013, and a third child born in 2017, whose gender is still unknown. It's unclear why the alleged son has never appeared in public.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The NIS
Wouldn't he be
suspects he may have
flaunting
health
his son?
issues. Journalist and North Korean expert Jae-woo Park thinks there may not have been a son at all.
First, I met Dennis Rodman, and also second, I talked with Kim Jong-un's childhood friend in Switzerland. He got invited to North Korea by Kim Jong-un in 2012 and 2003. And both of them say they heard about the daughter Kim Jue and met Kim Jue, Dennis Rodman specifically, but they never heard about son, older son. So that indicate, I think, there's no son
probably,
between Kim Jong-un and Lee Seol-ju.
Probably lying.
Ri
innit?
Seol-ju
Why would he
is
lie
Kim
about
Jong-un's
it?
wife, and most likely the mother of his children.
Yeah, she
The
really
first
is
time
like
she's
a
publicly
bad
seen at her
mom.
husband's side is in 2012. In 2018, North Korean state television starts referring to her as the respected First Lady. The Kim family is notoriously secretive about their private lives. Very little information ever makes it out. But apart from South Korean intelligence reports, satellite images offer rare glimpses into Jue's childhood.
Satellite
Her
images.
father owns several luxury estates across the country. The NIS believes Jue is homeschooled in Pyongyang. This is where the Kim family's main residence is located, the so-called Ryongsang residence, also known as Residence Number 55. In 2018, a Russian photographer publishes images of another luxury property situated in a North Korean capital. It's rumored to be a guest house for the regime's VIP visitors. Jue is believed to spend most of her time inside these Pyongyang homes. Her father and his sister, Kim Yo-jung, spend some of their school years in Switzerland. Jue, however, does not appear to be educated abroad. Park thinks this could be a deliberate decision.
It was a big deal after South Korean media and the U.S. media and other media outlets found out. They used to say in the Switzerland, and those kind of thing was probably damage for their propaganda. And also, Kim Joo-ae cannot go to school with the other folks in North Korea because they're gonna be rumored and they're gonna be special treatment for her, and people gonna be complaining about that.
The Kim family also spends a lot of time at their summer residences. This is likely one of the largest. It's located in Wonsan, on North Korea's east coast. Kim Jong-un is said to have spent parts of his own childhood here, and today his children likely do the same as well.
So why is she
the
the
compound appears
deadliest?
to have various amenities:
The deadliest
private
child.
beaches, guest houses, luxury yachts,
The
even its
world's
very own railway
deadliest child for
station.
some reason. Why is
This
that?
is where Dennis Rodman was invited as well.
We went on the boat, and it was all his family, his friends, and dignitaries, stuff like that. But we
jet
had
skiing and everything.
Everything with the jet skiing, da-da-da-da. We had so much fun.
Right next to the station is a large area with circular plots. It looks like a horse riding track. According to NIS reports, Joo-ae loves horseback riding. Horses play a major role in North Korean mythology. White horses in particular are a central icon of the Kim dynasty. Joo-ae is also said to be an avid skier. Just about 50 kilometers west of the Wonsan estate lies this massive ski resort. The regime claims it's supposed to boost domestic tourism. However, critics believe this mega project is little more than a private playground for the Kim family and their inner circle. But Kim Joo-ae seems to be more than just a privileged child spoiled with luxury and expensive hobbies. Behind the scenes, the regime may be preparing her for something far bigger.
Probably gonna take over,
Hey,
isn't it?
we're taking a quick ad break here. Don't you skip.
Yeah.
We're also offering some complimentary Subway Surf monitor to get alert. The link in the description. Today, it's being tested. Kilometers to ballistic missiles in the world. They also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. With a maximum range of 15,000 kilometers, it could easily travel from North Korea to the US mainland. Today, it's being tested. The regime stages the launch with a meticulously orchestrated video.
No. They've got a video for
State
it.
media declares the test a complete success. The international press takes notice, but quickly fixates on another detail. Standing next to the dictator is a little girl.
This is daughter.
It's Kim Joo-ae's first ever public appearance. The images go viral. Father and daughter casually dressed like they're on a family trip. This may be the most striking image. Kim Jong-un and his daughter holding hands in front of a weapon of mass destruction. From the very start, Joo-ae appears to be more than just another family member, and over the following months, she will move further into the spotlight. February 2023, a banquet celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Korean People's Army. State media released photos of the lavish dinner. One of them shows Joo-ae sitting between her parents, right in front of North Korea's highest-ranking generals. The image makes Kim Jong-un look like a sideshow. Joo-ae stands out in many other photos from that night.
She's sitting right in the
Korea,
center
Kim
as well.
Jong-un is treated as a godlike figure, but in these photos, his daughter is front and center, as if Kim Joo-ae was just as important as her father. The next night, there's a massive military parade. Pyongyang's Kim Tu-sung Square is ablaze with light and flanked by thousands of people. The regime has spared no expenses to flaunt its military power. Every tank, every jet, and every missile is rolled out on a red carpet. Thousands of soldiers march before the cheering crowds. And right there at her father's side is Kim Joo-ae, closer to him than ever before.
No one else could touch Kim Jong-un's cheek or
Obviously, it's his daughter.
To Kim Jong-un.
Of course she can touch him.
Someone different.
You know, sentence her to 60 years in Korean prison.
Same level with Kim Jong-un's wife. So Kim Joo-ae is very special as well.
Together they watch as the colossal Hwasong
interesting.
17
Same level as well.
intercontinental missile rolls by. Joo-ae has already seen it. And then a white horse comes galloping through the parade. The news anchor describes it as the horse most loved by the leader's beloved child. From this day on, Joo-ae's public appearances become more frequent. More military parades, more missile tests, and more meetings with top generals. Events where children usually don't belong. But each of them has Joo-ae moving closer from the background to the center. In 2023, this image goes viral. It shows Joo-ae and her father watching the launch of North Korea's first ever spy satellite. In this image, she is standing in front of her father. The New York Times says it's the first time ever that Kim Jong-un is relegated to a secondary role in an official portrait.
Damn.
Jue looks like a miniature version of her father. The black leather outfit is usually reserved for North Korean Air Force. Outside the military, it is only worn by high-ranking officials.
Well, she's
It looks
wearing it
like
now.
Kim Jue is increasingly framed as a strong leader. Japan-based media outlet Nikkei Asia analyzed over 14,000 hours of North Korean state TV from 2022 to late 2025. The number of days Jue appears on TV has started to rise sharply in 2024 and is now approaching that of her father. More than half of her public appearances have been at military-related events. But in recent years, Jue has been seen more and more at diplomatic meetings, both inside and outside North Korea. In 2025,
Even more
she
than his
accompanied
own
her
wife.
father abroad when he met with Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian leader Vladimir Putin in Beijing. Kim Jue's clothing has also grown noticeably more formal and representative over the years, and the fact that she is often seen cheek to cheek with her father could suggest that she is deliberately
real?
placed close to power.
Shooting.
But what does this all mean? Could Kim Jong-un really be preparing his daughter to become his successor?
Probably. She's like just increasing in appearances with him.
Kim Jong-il ruled North Korea for more than 2 decades. Just days after his death in 2011, Kim Jong-un was announced as his successor. He's the late ruler's youngest son and about 27 years old. Hardly anyone knew him at the time. He had only been introduced to the public 1 year prior, when he was appointed general. To the outside world, the transfer of power looked seamless. But behind the scenes, it was actually a critical moment. Kim Jong-un had to assert himself against senior generals and the party elite. He removed his opponents, including those in his own family, and established himself as undisputed leader. The Kim dynasty lived on. The struggle for power taught Kim Jong-un how important it is to secure his succession early, and that insight would become relevant rather sooner than later. According to NIS reports, Kim Jong-un has a very unhealthy lifestyle. Heavy drinking,
Obviously.
lots of food,
Look at him.
little sleep,
I'm not even trying to
and
fight.
this.
He is
The
a bit
42-year-old
fat.
supreme leader is a notorious chain smoker. A New York Times report claims he is already suffering from cardiovascular issues, the very same problems that contributed to the deaths of both his father and grandfather. His health could be one reason for him to publicly prepare a potential successor. Is North Korea's regime actually grooming Kim Jue to become the next supreme leader? Some observers think her public appearances primarily serve her father's interests. After all, Kim Jong-un is showcasing her at a time when his rule is under huge pressure. When COVID hit, North Korea sealed itself off completely. Around the same time, China stopped trading with North Korea. This led to a dramatic spike in inflation and skyrocketing food prices. Maybe Kim Jong-un is using his daughter to boost his own image, to project a softer image, and to present himself as a loving father figure. North Korea is also deeply patriarchal. A look at North Korea's leadership history shows that so far it's been only men. Women are heavily underrepresented in politics and society in general, and systematically discriminated. For decades, it was practically impossible to imagine a female supreme leader. But things seem to have changed under Kim Jong-un. His sister Kim Yo-jong is the first woman to hold a central position within the regime. She is vice director of the propaganda and agitation department and the country's most prominent voice in foreign policy. Whenever her brother meets with other heads of state, Kim Yo-jong is at his side. But now she is considered one of the most powerful people in North Korea and even a potential successor in her own right. We've made an entire video about her. But there's one thing that speaks against Kim Yo-jong succeeding her brother. North Korea's rule of succession demands that the current dictator be succeeded by a direct offspring. Selecting the sister would be a deviation from that direct bloodline. Selecting the daughter wouldn't.
Blood is more than gender. There's a different hierarchy because they're like king or they're like gods, and also it's the fourth generation of dictatorship, so it should be new, something new. So woman could be very excited for North Korea.
State media have started referring to Jue as the respected daughter, general, and morning star. All these titles carry a highly symbolic weight that suggests she may be primed for power. However, to this day, neither her exact age nor her name have been officially confirmed. We can't know for sure what's happening behind closed doors, about the power struggles that may be unfolding or the expectations placed on her. Maybe Kim Jong-un just wants to project the image of a loving father. Maybe he's deliberately keeping succession open to make sure he will have more than just a single option. Maybe he's really preparing Jue to become the first woman to rule the country.
Probably.
There would be a technical problem though. In North Korea, children inherit their father's surname. So if Kim Joo-ae becomes supreme leader, her future children would carry a different one. The Kim dynasty would end with her. But Kim Jong-un is a godlike figure with absolute power. If he decides to change the rules of succession, who's going to stop him?
Yo, these lot on this channel, yeah. Holy hell, how many subscribers have they got? They've definitely got like 20. Oh, they've only got 5 million. I don't even subscribe to them, but they are ridiculous. Like, but anyway, yeah, that was a great stream. That was an alright little stream. So yeah, I'm just gonna be ending here. So thank you for that stream, everybody, and goodbye.